Y'all read the title, you know what's going on. I got dropped by a gallery. Yes, ma'am. If you're not sure what that means, let me spell it out for you. It means they do not want my art anymore. It means that these paintings that I've been making for the past 3 weeks have nowhere to go. It means that I literally have no idea what I'm doing with my life. And that's okay. So I'm gonna break everything down in this video while also sharing some studio clips from the past couple of weeks because I did make like 2.5 paintings that y'all have yet to see, and I am excited to show y'all that. First of all, thank y'all so much for the love in the last video. A lot of people said they wanted to hear more podcasty conversational videos. So I think that each studio vlog I make from now on is gonna be like a solid podcast. I'm just gonna keep talking and blabbing on and on and on because y'all know I can yap my ass off, and we're just gonna have fun together. It's gonna be like we're on FaceTime. You can play me while washing the dishes. You can play me while you're painting around. You could play me to literally just give me money, babes. Please, please. First of all, it is a bit dramatic, okay? It's not like I was depending on this gallery for an income. It's not like they literally put me on a pedestal and then pushed me off to drop me, babes. No, 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 no. None of that happened. Very kind, sweet person. I'm just giving you all this update because one, this is not tea, but it kind of is. Two, it's just so that I can share with y'all what's going on because a lot of people were expecting me to put out 6 to 7 6x5 foot paintings, which is what I was gonna do for the show. But midway through, it just ended up not happening, and that's honestly for a variety of reasons that I'm not even sure about. Let me just back up real quick. Y'all know that a month ago, someone really loved my paintings. They thought they were really strong, and they reached out to me for a phone call conversation saying that we should have a show together. So on this phone call, sure, we talked about pricing for a very hot sec. We didn't talk about an actual date for the show. For me, I thought that's okay because it's more of like an alternative space, very well known in the LA area, but like still alternative. So I thought that's just how it went. Also, this is my first time actually interacting with a gallery at this level outside of college. So I thought this was just a handshake conversation and that no date was settled because it is like an alternative space. So we would just be flexible as long as I make the paintings. Because also he didn't know how much time it would take for me to produce that much work because it is like very large scale paintings. So every week I sent back like multiple update photos of the paintings, how they're going. I would get feedback. He mentioned a couple times that maybe the paintings weren't what his audience would expect from him to show. So he kept reiterating, he's like, I know you're young, your work is still strong though. I'm not sure if what you're doing necessarily lines up with what I want to see, and that has nothing to do with your work or the level that it's at. It has everything to do with, is this the right space? It shows that one, this person was very humble in that they knew that art is subjective. And I feel like sometimes, at least the stereotypes of what I was taught in art school from just professors and their past experiences, with that some gallerists or people in high positions of power oftentimes say like, this is bad, point blank period, objectively not good. Here, there was obviously some leniency, you know, there was like, oh, like maybe this just isn't the right context for your work. But I kept saying like, oh, let me see if I can make it happen, let me see if I can make it happen. There was a person mentioned before, something along the lines of, haha, if you can resist not posting these paintings, I would appreciate that. And I said, haha, yeah, no, I'll try not to. And then I asked, oh, is it okay if I post this painting though? And he's like, yeah, for sure, like, it's your social media. Like, at the end of the day, you do what you want. And that's how I remember it, but like maybe that's not how it went. I'd always, of course, give him the painting updates like first and foremost. Like the very first person I reached out to about the paintings was him. But then after like he liked them, I would just like post the painting. Even though I got like the A-okay, like this is a good painting, never once did we talk about like, oh, this is a good painting for the show. Because of that, I was still confused and like, one, do I still have the bandwidth to like post? It is my social media account, like I can do whatever I want with it. It's not like we have a contract or anything. It's more of like politeness, maybe? I'm not sure. And then two, I wasn't even sure if these were like the actual paintings going in the show because I didn't know when the show would be or if this was like up to his standard, maybe. I don't know. But I'm trying to be like very transparent with y'all because some of you might experience something similar, and so I just want to say my story in case y'all may be dealing with something similar because I definitely made a lot of mistakes here. And then I finally asked like, hey, when do you think the show would be so I can plan out my schedule and make the right amount of paintings for you? And he said, actually, like I kind of mentioned a couple times not to post the paintings. I don't think it's gonna work out between us, but you have a good energy and I really like you. Maybe I can like mention a few galleries that would be interested. I know a lot of you at home are probably like, oh my god, it's literally because you post on social media that he canceled everything, like that's why. To that I say maybe possibly, like that is a potential cause, but at the end of the day, if my art really aligned with what they were doing and was really easily sellable, and if they enjoyed it and thought it was the most amazing work ever, then they would fight more for me to be an artist with them. Because I had around 3 paintings. I posted 2 of them. I'm pretty sure they saw both of them. So at any point, could they have told me like, hey, I thought we talked about not posting it. Please don't post it. I'd rather you just start over. Those 2 paintings can just exist on social media, but you're gonna make like another 6 to just have for the show. And I personally would have been so willing to do all of that at the time because I was so tunnel visioned in. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, also I'm like very like dispensable. Like he's like putting his leg out, maybe trying to give me an opportunity, and anything kind of fragile could just break it. How I perceive it to be was more of like not a scapegoat, but because I knew he was hesitant throughout the process of showing the work, it was just a cherry on top, something tangible for him to say like, oh, this is why we should stop working together. I don't know. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I like try to psychoanalyze this conversation so much, but so I am able to learn from this experience. But I don't know. I don't know. So I said like thank you so much for the time. In my mind, I got so tunnel visioned into this potential opportunity that I didn't think about anything else. So I just was on go mode, painting like these 6-foot paintings, making sure they were really good, doing 6-hour days every single day, like canceling on friends and just being overall really stressed. I know 6 hours isn't like a lot if you're a painter. I know people paint like way more. Just with how I paint and the layers that are required and the drying times required, I couldn't paint more than that. But yeah, I did put in a lot of effort into these and I just got so stressed about it. So I think that this actually is a really good thing that happened to me. Of course, it doesn't feel good. There's always the question of like, oh, like what did I do that led up to this? Also, like what did I do wrong? Why was my art not good enough? Da 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 da. Like all these questions. I have to remind myself that I literally just graduated like 4 weeks ago. Like literally 4 weeks ago. Obviously, things like that shouldn't happen like 4 weeks after your undergrad. I know I talked about in my last video like all these different experiences or lack thereof that I've had and how everything to me is related to art and everything goes back into my practice and my work ethic, and I just want to do whatever I can to succeed in the art world, which for me means a variety of things. Share my experience with y'all and keeping y'all updated on my journey, as well as just posting online so that my work is accessible and seen by multiple people outside of in-person spaces, and showing in galleries, hopefully showing in museums, like getting grant opportunities, residencies, etc. So this being my first experience outside of graduation, and I'm getting like knocked down a peg or two. I think this is like the best rejection I could have ever got, just because of how sweet this person was and upfront and direct. I would rather someone be direct and upfront with me and still sweet and humble in the way they were than someone to lead me on and then just like snap an opportunity like that. Because I have friends where that actually happened. They were given a date of like a solo show opportunity, and then literally come that month, the gallery was like, we don't align, sorry. And then this artist was just left in the dust. What are some things to learn? Let me think a little bit about some gratitude. I still was pushed to make better and better work. I think my work from those conversations with this person actually evolved and like had to step up. So I'm really happy about that. And I was still able to maintain my artistic voice while also bouncing on ideas with someone else, which I had not previously done before outside of an institution. 2, again, this is like the best rejection scenario, and it's really fueling me to push my practice even further. The work is still in my studio and I could use it. 4, something really like cosmic as fuck happens, y'all. My friend Rebecca, who I had met at a residency previously, who was actually a teaching fellow, is in LA, and they had extra stretcher bars for me. And the stretcher bars just so happened to be, can you think of it, babes? 6 by 5 feet, which is the exact same size as the paintings I was making for this person. So literally it's so serendipitous, it's so kismic, babe. Kismet, it derives from an Arabic word. I was trying to look at like the etymology of the word because this person was like, oh my god, that's so kismet. And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, it's kind of like fate. And I was like, you're so right, babes. Like, this is so fate-worthy. But I think that's like a sign for me to keep pushing, that I'm on the right track. Something else that was serendipitous that happened, though, was that my friend, Courtney Poe, a gallerist, curator, creative director, photographer, she does it all. Courtney Poe runs this thing called Gas Scene, which also has Gasp Gallery, a one-night event in Los Angeles that is about like 2 or 3 times a year. My girl accepted me into the gallery, so that'll be really fun. I'm showing this painting actually, so that's gonna happen next Saturday. If you're in LA, you should pop by, say hello. And a new thing that popped up in my life was qualifying for the Boston Marathon. Now, the Boston Marathon I think happens every fall in September. I'm nowhere near the times I need to get in order to qualify, but I'm gonna train. If you identify as a man, you have to run a sub 3-hour marathon, which comes down to a 6:50 pace per mile for 26.2 miles, which is crazy. And if you're a woman or non-binary, you have to get a sub 3:30 time. Now, babes, I do not subscribe to the gender binary. However, I think I can get a sub 3. In order to maintain that goal, I need to not give myself a plan B. So I'm enrolling as a man into the Long Beach Marathon, I think, which is a really relatively flat course and the elevation is practically none, which just means that it's one of the easiest marathons out there because some marathons you have like huge hills you have to climb over and it's at like thousands and thousands of feet of elevation. So that's why in 4 months I'm gonna run hopefully 45 to 55 miles a week so I can get a qualifying time for 2025's Boston Marathon. It's just a little goal I had in my brain, probably rooted in mental illness, babe. This is how the painting is looking. Yes, it's a bit more explicit than my other ones. Sorry about it. Maybe I'll blur out some stuff, who knows. This painting composition really needs the swirls because, babe, let me tell you, this area of the composition is boring and dull, so I need to spice her up a bit. I need to fix the face as well, but then after that, we'll be chill. Today, we are getting our shit together. We have survived so many challenges thus far in our adulting journeys. First of all, was gonna get evicted from the studio, and we're not, I think. That's what someone said, I don't really know. But we're here for now, which is good. We're here and we're queer. I finished the blue painting in the last video. If y'all did not attend that class session, you should go watch the Zoom lecture, babe. And thus far, I've been on this purple painting for a hot sec now. As in like 3 days. I'm gonna do the final layer of charcoal and pastel on top. Now, babe, we have some decisions to make. Yes, ma'am. First of all, I was gonna make the middle section, which I'll put in clips now, actually like a swirly bluish kind of gray tint, but babe, it didn't work out. I was trying to make it like I did this wash, but the wash wasn't giving because I think the abstract nature of it and the fluidness will come through with the pastel and charcoal. But babe, if it flops today, then we'll just erase and then go back to the blue wash. That's the plan. Second of all, I need to decide which pastel colors I want to put on top of the body. Now for the blue painting, I did some light greens and maybe a tad yellow and some highlight blue to go on like, you know, the highlight parts, obviously. But the colors that I have for the pastel might not match the purple painting that well. So I'm debating if I lean into the blue tint or if I go the more like complementary colors, more basic yellow on top. That'd be fun and that'd be a vibe and a little pop of color, but I don't know if it needs it. We'll see. Again, we have an eraser. In other news, today is May 31st, which means tomorrow is what? Pride Month in the States. I'm going to my first ever Pride. Yes, I'm a Pride virgin, y'all. I have never been. And LA obviously is known for their Pride, especially in West Hollywood, because the LGBTQ plus community lives in LA, thrives off of LA. And so I'm super excited to go with my friends tonight. And again, it is this like LGBTQ plus Asian group, and babe, I'm obsessed with that. That's the energy I need right now. Just to feel comfortable, just to feel safe. I don't know if I'm gonna wear a good outfit or not, but we'll decide that later. I wanna just wear like a white shirt and have people write stuff on it. I'm not sure if people are just gonna like draw dicks on me. Is that bad though? I'm not really sure. Anyways, let's get to this charcoal layer and I'll see y'all soon. As for the pastels, I was doing some experimenting and this works okay as a highlight, but again, it's not that saturated, so against the super saturated colors, it might not pop that much and be dull. This is a great highlight, but the bluish tint might make it a bit alien-y for me. And then this is more on the nose complementary color that could look well. And this, again, will be like more alien-y, so I'm not sure if that's the vibration right now. And this is the charcoal I have left to do these little spirals, so we shall see what's happening. Usually my spirals are a lot more sharp and they act as spikes and thorns and these like phallic powers being attracted to holes and stuff like that. But babe, I don't know if I want to do that like super sharp look because I don't think it needs it. Everything here is so sharp, especially with the floor grain that I put in that is like more illustrative, cartoonish, whatever. But because these two are so like blocky in and of itself, I think the more swooshy type vibe will work better, similar to what I did with this green painting. I actually don't know if that made sense, but we'll try it out. Okay, I'm at a pretty good stopping point with the painting. I'm gonna do another day of touch-ups, but I need to start getting ready, babes, for WeHo. Now I need to get ready for Pride. I literally have no idea what I'm gonna wear. No clue. Fuck, this is a better painting. I'm trying to have my paintings get better and better and better. This one is just better. I'm back from another run. I did about 7.5 at like a 6:32 pace. I tried to run slower, so like the first half of the run was actually like 6:50-ish, and then the latter half was like 6:20-ish. I tried to run slower at first because someone in the last video commented that like I need to take more breaks and to run at like a slower pace could be better. And I've heard this before, so I tried it, babe. I don't think I tried it well enough, but I'm gonna try to run a longer distance next week. But these next couple runs, I'm gonna try to do like 10 miles and then maybe do it at like a 7:15 pace and see what the vibe is. Take it chill and then slowly work from there. But now I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna go to the art store because I need to buy some canvas, and I'm gonna finish up some of the purple painting because I did some good touch-ups yesterday, but it needs to be cleaned up before I move on, because after these are done, I don't want to touch them. I do not want to touch them. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, Mama's documenting.
It's documented.
They're supposed to be in Beverly Hills.
So what? Bitch gets shadier and shadier every day. It's probably because they're getting bigger and bigger, casting bigger shadows.
That's a good case. We're at odds.
It is 3:40. I've been in the studio for the past like 4.5, 5 hours, and I'm just now eating a damn lunch. This is bulgogi kimbap. I don't pronounce it well with a Korean accent, even though I'm Korean. I need to learn Korean, but this is $10, babe, which honestly could seem like expensive to some people, but is really, really affordable for context of like inflation and for what you get, and for this being like a meat kimbap and not just vegetable. It's so good. It's so addicting. Like, let's just eat this a bit and then drive back home and then go on like a 10-mile run. We'll actually end up doing 10 miles, probably only like maybe 9, but I'm gonna do it slower because I'm gonna take it more chill. I don't know why it took me 5 hours in the studio, because all I did was, oh, that's why. 1.5 hours of it was buying art supplies at Blick because I needed some more canvas. And the rest of the day was just cutting out the canvas to size and then gessoing one of them. I gessoed one of them with 3 different layers, and I also sprayed fixative on the purple painting that I did. I also posted the purple painting today, and babes, like, she popped off. Just like how that green painting for me was a turning point for my artistic practice and like painting practice at least,
I think this purple painting is really a step up from my other ones that I've done in that series. It might be one of my favorite ones that I've done of the charcoal and oil paint combo. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really excited for this next painting because I do have a composition set for it already, which should be pretty good, especially because it emphasizes the figure a bit more, that being like the realistic figure, so that's exciting. I get to paint more, even though it's kind of nerve-wracking to paint more realistically. Like, I don't really give a shit, babe. Because mine's like not realistic. Because in my brain, like hyperreal is now boring because it just looks like AI. Or it just looks like something you can literally get off of like Google Images. I don't even know. But that's why there's a bit more of like a softer touch to it that makes it less real, but also still realistic. I don't even know what you call it. OMG. And another thing, y'all, I went to Pride for the first time this past weekend, and let me tell you, it was actually crazy. Story time. I went out with my Asian girlies. We were having a jolly good fun time. We were just trying to like walk around, see what the vibration was. We parked at the Beverly Center, which was literally like a mile away from the actual parade. And then when we got to the parade, of course, you walk more. It was getting so stuffy. Everyone was like side to side, like sardines in a can. And babe, at one point, this was like the barricade to let the floats go through. This was like another club. And then this was a sidewalk. No one moved for 5 minutes, which seems like a short amount of time, but 5 minutes is a damn lot when you're packed in with people, uncomfortable, breathing on other people. Everyone's breathing on each other. It's sweaty, it's hot. And mind you, there are people also trying to go the other way on the sidewalk. We were trying to go this way, and the girls were pushing so hard that we all started moving. People were falling over. My friend's friend got their phone stolen because someone was just like trying to swipe people's pockets while they were all crowded together. Oh my god, it was a mess. It was a mess. I literally almost got trampled on. But it was definitely an experience. It was an experience. And then afterwards, my friends and I went to the Margiela store because my friend wanted to try on some Margiela tabbies. Of course, Margiela tabbies are like a vibration. And then afterward, I went to just an art show. But Pride was fun. Would I do it again? Yeah. But it was really hectic. That was it though. Story time over. Not even a great story time. But it happened. Okay, work.
It's 80 degrees right now and my studio is burning hot. Babes, like there's no AC in here, so I just opened the window and it's helping a bit, but that's why my shirt's off. And I'm doing like manual labor, babes. Like I'm trying to stretch this right now and it's a 6-foot canvas. And if you don't know how to stretch a canvas, first of all, you're part of the lucky group, okay? I'm very jealous of you. Second of all, how you stretch a canvas is that you have to staple this part to the wood, but you can't just go like, oh, 1 staple, 2 staple, 3 staple. You actually have to do like laps, babe, around the damn panel. So you have to do 1 in the center, and then 1 across the center, and then 1 on the side, and then another on the opposite side. And then from there, you have to go 1 staple per side in like a circle until you finally stretch the canvas. And then, of course, you don't want the canvas to be loose, so you're constantly pulling it and then stapling. It's a mess, babe. It's a mess. But that's why I literally had to take off my shirt. You're probably wondering, like, why can't I see your nipples, babe? Like, first of all, free the nipple. Second of all, I think I literally sweat through my shirt. Don't clock me. It just happens. It just happens sometimes. And I'd rather me take my shirt off than y'all see like literal chest sweat stains. That's a bit much for this channel. Okay, let's get started. Do you see me sweating? I don't know if you can see me sweating, but there's like beads, teardrops streaming down my face via sweat. This is crazy. Now, if you are stretching your own canvases, a little tip for y'all, keep it a bit loose because when you put the gesso layers on top of it, it like up the canvas so it all tightens and shrinks a little, so it becomes even more tight. But I'm just making her slightly stretched out because if she's too snatched, when you add the gesso, she pops. You know, the staples just start coming off. Her belt loosens a little bit, the buttons fall out, they pop out, they fly out. So we're not trying to let that happen. We're just trying to get it just right.
That is one canvas that I stretched, and then the other one that I stretched is on the ground. Don't worry, I'll definitely brush her off before I start gestuing so she's not dirty. That's the vibration right now.
My shirt is back on. Thank God, y'all.
And now I'm gonna try to clean this area up a bit because I realized, of course, I'm not gonna pin up canvases anymore.
Because these are so heavy, as I clearly discovered, I can't attach it to the wall, so they're gonna have to rest on some buckets on the floor.
That's why I need to clean out this area a little bit. And after I do that, I can start gessoing these.
And then I'll have some nice surfaces to paint on. I have not painted in like 5 days, which is like a lot for me because I've been painting like 6 hours a day for the past 3 weeks. So I had a nice little break.
Look at all of this stuff, y'all. So much stuff I need to clean. Okay, so I just did this huge composition onto the painting, and again, it's a 6-foot painting, so the torso in the middle is the closest to life size. It's just a bit bigger, I'd say. This composition took me literally 2 hours to do. I'm not joking, I was taking reference photos and in Photoshop for hours deciding this composition, and even though this composition is similar to other ones I've done in the past, you cannot clock me for it, babes, because this is a series. Emphasis on it's a series, which literally means that there should be unifying compositional elements and motifs to bring them all together. I like to think of this series as a cohesive album, so even though I'm taking maybe like bits and parts from past works, like the cartoon PP and the cartoon character, I'm switching it up and remixing it into this kind of performance. And so I'm not really thinking of these paintings as individual, but rather a collective, which is why I'm okay with doing a monochromatic vibe for it. Again, I'm not sure how this will turn out. I'm gonna use green. I did green before, and it was on a bit of a smaller scale, like just barely, but it wasn't as clean as I wish it'd be. Also, for this one, I'm not sure whether or not I should put the cartoon character inside of here because I don't want it to look gimmicky that I'm using a cartoon character, but I do think it's important for the content of the piece, that being that this is like a caricaturized version of my body that's fighting to be in like this 3-dimensional plane. This like cartoon that's supposed to represent all the stereotypes that flatten my being into this caricature is the only flat element that's actually unifying all 3 panels, but at the same time, like these panels with this more representational body is stronger because it's like more of the real me, babe, but it's still being segmented in fragments into this like panel. Okay, girl, I'm saying a lot of random shit. Y'all probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? And trust me, I empathize with you. This is how my brain works. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But essentially the question is right now, do I add the cartoon character or do I not? I'm gonna sketch it in right now and we'll see how it looks. Okay, what do we think about it now? We're gonna stick with the cartoon character, and now I'm gonna do a green wash over everything, mixing phthalo blue and I think lemon yellow. But if the lemon yellow doesn't work out to the green I want, then I'm just gonna use Hansa yellow, if I have that. Oh wait, I lied, I only have Hansa yellow. Thank God. These two are gonna give me a really aesthetic green similar to what I have over here because it was my first development into it. So it is a bit more whimsical and energetic, but it's not completely what I want it to be. But it does have more elements like this kind of charcoal energy spread that I'm trying to use in other paintings. This sort of mark making isn't something that I had in the other paintings, so use that a bit more here. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like the video, like the video. If you have fun, comment, critique, or joke to share, comment down below. If you like me, my art, or want to follow my art journey in LA, you can subscribe. It's a fun time here. And thanks for watching the video, y'all. That's the end of the video.